Three companies. They're kind of vertically integrated. The Greenlee Group is a valuation, asset management, and economic analysis firm, and we've been in business for 30 some odd years. 4 years ago, I joined SVN Miller Commercial Real Estate out of Salisbury. I've known those guys also for 30 years, and so when they said they were coming to Easton, I had a little boutique brokerage, and they said they were coming, and did we want to fold in with them? I wanted to, the others didn't, so I did. And I've never looked back. It is a fabulous national platform that has exposed me to more than I would have ever known that I wasn't being exposed to. It's been really great. The third is just launching, E3SG Realty Investments. It is picking up on the ESG momentum that is going around the country and around the globe. E3 stands for environmental plus efficiency plus exponential, which reflects the use of artificial intelligence in this new launch. But those are the three things that I'm doing. So it's transactional and analytical on one side, and then it's conservation and economic development very much in sync on the other. So Talbot Town is representative in many respects of what's new about commercial real estate today. And what we're doing is we're focusing on experiential uses, visits to the shopping center. It's really not a shopping center so much as it is a destination of similar uses. So if we can get somebody to come and they go buy something at Talbot's and they come have lunch at Piazza and they, and now we've got agave juice and arts that we've just put on the end cap over there. They're going to be a great addition just in that whole kind of vibe and the experience. And so that's, it's not just finding credit retailers anymore. It's finding the group of tenants that make sense for a space. Yeah. And it's taken us, I don't know, we've been at this now probably for 16, 17 months or so. To get that feel for it, to get it going. Real estate generally wants to be something. And from the appraiser in me, identifying the highest and best use, wanting to be something sounds silly, but it's what is legally permitted, what is feasible, what does the market want, and if we can figure that out and put it in place effectively and feasibly, that's the answer. And then when you've got a landlord like the Stoltz family that really understands, nothing happens in real estate today that isn't creative, that doesn't take some front-loaded investment. And again, it's got to meet all the other tests. But today, it's not what it has always been, and finding that kind of, and finessing really that magic spot is critical. And so we're just getting there at Talbot Town. It's really, we're going to have it kind of filled up with few exceptions here fairly shortly, but it's taken a long time to get there. Yeah. The town seemingly desperately wants a brew pub or a microbrewery and would support it, and it would complement the others on Kent Island and Cambridge and even Denton and Centerville, and to have fill the hole in the donut just adds to the critical mass, and then it has tentacles that reach into the other markets as well, which is the role that Easton plays in lots of different categories, from legal to medical to financial, et cetera. So this is really no different from that standpoint. So that's one of the uses that the Stoltz family has long wanted, and I think we're on the verge of getting one of those going. But residential is the hot market, and the Robert Morris Inn does not survive on its own as an inn. It needs a major capital infusion, and the inn won't generate that kind of capital or income. So what we're proposing and the way we're marketing it, in fact, is to keep the facade, to respect everything about the Robert Morris Inn, but to take some of the interior and convert rooms to condominiums, sell the condominiums, recapture some of the income, and then when the owners aren't in town, presumably, right, then those rooms, those suites go back into the lodging pool. So it becomes a hybrid, but it has the residential component to prop it up a little bit. The other thing about the Robert Morris Inn, that when you really do the in-depth tour and start looking around, the money shot, as they call it, is the Strand. And that's parking lot and kitchen, which is, it's just not the highest and best use of the property on any level. So what we're proposing is residential development along the Strand, condominiumized, same idea. When the owners are there, great. They have this high-level concierge, beautiful waterfront, location. When they're not there, they put it into the lodging pool, and they don't rent for hotel room prices. They rent for premium prices because they are kind of all those things. So that's the notion. Now, it's not entirely inexpensive to get there. And that's one of the reasons the current owners are selling it. They want to get the property to the next level. It's beyond their capability. They'd be the first to kind of tell you that. The Tidewater, when we were first starting it, we also had a residential component on the top floors that we were exploring, and felt like that was an important way to recapture some of the investment, but also that to connect that kind of that second home feel to the concierge service of the property. That was something that we thought could be done. Yeah. So that's an opportunity going in. The Tidewater should always remember it's a hotel and focus on heads in beds. And so it has suffered as a result of the pandemic, as many have. But that market will come back, and those guys are smart, and they know how to do weddings like few others. Right, so they've got a good, strong platform to work from, and they have some opportunity to achieve or offer a buyer some upside. Yeah. And what Paul has done, I think, has been fabulous for the town. People might disagree on whether or not they can afford the use, but they don't dispute that the use is a really cool use and generally good for the overall image of Easton. And I think that's fair to say. Our audience is more upscale than it used to be. There is an affordability question that relates to housing as well. It's not a Prager downtown commercial issue. It's a Talbot County issue, maybe more than anything else, and his work reflects that. Yeah. So I think he's been, I think he's been very good for downtown personally.